Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
assholeconsulting.com. Go there if you got a question. Drop a little bit of money now for some massive preventative maintenance in the future. We'll keep this guy anonymous. Anonymous writes, Dear Aaron, I decided to do a Ronald Reagan-style study abroad, a paid internship at a faraway state. On my apartment floor, I encountered quite a few hot young girls working, going to summer school, volunteering, etc. I want to have some fun with a few, of course. The problem is I'm too afraid of said girls reporting me for making her feel... Afraid of one of the said girls for making her feel uncomfortable / sexual harassment. It has already happened to me twice. If you need detail on both incidents, I can email them to you privately. The first girl who didn't show any resistance or discomfort but didn't show any excitement or enthusiasm. The second involved a girl who approached me by sitting so close to me her legs rubbed against mine. I didn't do anything beyond leaning one by the hand, the first one, and arm around the shoulder for both. Okay, yeah, so you're not like copping feels or giving them the scary eye. Both involved anonymous reports from sets of 2 to 3 girls. For both incidents, I got first notified 1 to 2 weeks later. I have no idea about the first set of girls, but a couple weeks later I danced with girls from the same nightclub, including the one I made feel uncomfortable. There were no incident reports after that, but the white night staff member was still pissed off. I'm 99% certain who reported me for the incident, a chubby feminist with a hyphenated last name. Oh yeah, the mother hens, the cock blockers. Luckily, I did not get into any official trouble. The director, one of the people who receives the reports, was surprised by my self-awareness. I know I am not the most socially adept person, but at the same time, college feminists / social justice warriors are hard at work to extend the definition of rape and harassment to include regretful encounters, especially at the school I attended. Do you think I was out of line and misread some verbal cues, or I just encountered 2 girls who were embarrassed by what happened and listened to their feminist friend who convinced them that they can change their mind about how they felt? How do I avoid this in the future without becoming a MGTOW? Thank you. Alright, yeah, you're not going to know because they're not going to tell you, but let's go over one key thing here. You getting in trouble means getting kicked out of school, because unless there's actual sexual assault, or you actually, harassed them, a genuine harassment, broke a law, you're not in trouble. You just can't go to that school anymore. Now, this makes young men and women think they're in trouble, like, oh my god, I got kicked out of the school, or this genuine circus court, this kangaroo court that a college will set up to inquire about what you did, and did you feel a girl's boobies, and was she dry? Alright, that's school, and the only thing they really control over is whether you can be a student there or not. So what young boys have to do, and women I guess too, but this lopsidedly affects boys, is you got to find a school that's more conservative or traditional, or where at least this shit doesn't happen. Now, a lot of times it'll happen. It won't happen, like your community colleges, trade school, get you 2 years in, 2 years out. This stuff, I'd be very curious to see if it doesn't happen at Big Ten, large universities, liberal arts colleges, where everyone's like, it's particularly indoctrinating over there. But yeah, just, you gotta choose your environment. Find a school. Shit, go to an all-guys college. I know there's a college up north called St. John's. That's an all-guys college. I know that might be a bit pricey, but your life is not over if this school, which is more hell-bent on nailing innocent guys and pushing a feminist agenda and claiming that you can eye-rape somebody and all that. That is... Just look out for these schools, okay? And go to a different school. It's a great thing about a capitalist economy. We have choice. Now, going forward to avoid this, because, obviously you wouldn't like to be inconvenienced about having to go through this and there's a report filed against you and all this other stuff. Plus, you just don't want to be that guy. I think you are self-aware, but it could be one of any other thing. This is why I asked you to send some pictures, but you didn't, because you could have a creepy look to you. There's some people that have a creepy look. They're not creepy, they're not evil, they could be the nicest, sweetest guys ever. You just may have this look. And so what I would do is talk to your friends or have some, hey, do I look like a creep? Your clothes, whatever. You have no idea what it can be. So, yes, do what you can under your control to not, because you want to eliminate all these options. You may not be creepy. You may be totally in the right. Doesn't matter. if you look at this, is going to be a problem that will continue, probably, likely, okay? Now, if it's not that, yeah, this is just unfortunately the increasingly hostile and insane environment you young boys are being brought up in college. In my day, we didn't really have this, thank God. There was like one gal I made a drunk attempt to kiss one time at a party, but that, and that would have been nothing. It's just, you get... But now, you wonder, it's like, whoa, would I get in trouble by today's standards? These women are also being brought up to like, oh yeah, if you do that's rape, oh that's sexual assault, and if you're just feeling uncomfortable, you gotta. So it is an increasingly hostile environment, and one you're gonna have to learn to navigate. So what I would do, try to identify them. Okay, I know you think they're cute, but look at other tell signs, like a hyphenated name. That's a pretty good sign not to talk to that girl. Is she a women's studies major? Is she a social? Is she in the liberal arts? That typically means they're going to get brainwashed. This doesn't mean that a gal who's dressed like conservative cutesy Sue, who's an engineering major, won't do the same thing. But you can eliminate these risks by simply trying to avoid feminist and liberal women. Now, it's going to be really hard, especially in college when all the women are basically brainwashed to be leftist feminist women. And I'm sure you would like to get laid. But I would also, here's what I would do, especially now that you're younger and this is how the kids are interacting. I would almost not be doing physical approaches, like in-person approaches. I would be like, hey, can I get your InstaChat or your scattergram or your friend face or whatever. Get them online and start your online relationship there. And not only is that what kind of is the route that interaction is going, it'll also provide a track record and a history. So I think, what is it, Snapchat? Everything's gone like in an hour or something like that, so that'd be a bad one. But if you could get a Facebook texting thing, or you follow each other on Twitter, anything, whatever social media you use, if you can have that track record, not only if for whatever reason you're saying, oh yeah, you sexually assaulted this girl, and you say, no I didn't, I got the proof right here. It'll also allow you to recheck yourself and say, all right, where did I goof up? You'll have a track record. Say, did I goof up somewhere here? You'll be able to assess and reevaluate yourself and look kind of through this history. So let me just make sure. Do you think you were out of line and misread some verbal clues? I don't think you were out of line, certainly by real male standards. You're allowed to hit on girls, dance with them. You held their hands and put your arm around. Pretty. But if there may have been some nonverbal clues, absolutely go and check on that. I'd say honestly there's a 50-50 chance. I really don't believe most of these gals just make up bullshit. I think at some level they're uncomfortable, so there may have been some nonverbal cues. All right, so learn to pay attention to that. But then otherwise, no, dude, you gotta understand the environment and the context you're in. There's a lot of it where, like, this would have been nothing back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, yeah, he held my hand, or he escorted me out with his arm around, or he was dancing with me drunk. These would be nothing. This would be nothing. But today, now it is something. So don't feel guilty about that. My God, it's the biggest joke. Women want to be treated equally, but they can't do the most simple thing, and that is ask a guy out. But when it comes to, okay, they still want guys to approach them and do all the work in that, but then they make it ever more increasingly hard. If it wasn't already fraught with landmines to go and ask a girl out, like, you're not already risking enough going up there, putting your pride on the line and all that. Now you got to worry about getting a sexual harassment complaint, or just I'm an uncomfortably, he made my feels uncomfortable. My God. I do not envy you young millennial boys at all. So anyway, double check yourself, all right? Have someone follow you, have a wingman, kind of see what they observe. If you have a good female friend, say, hey, what the hell's wrong with me? And you trust her, she'll tell you. That'll be get a female's take on it. But yeah, you didn't do anything morally wrong as far as what you've told me. As long as you've been honest with me, yeah, I would sleep well at night, and then maybe try and find another school. Best of luck to you. Tools.